that I will achieve, because I do the things I should, to my brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow.
Okay, my straight dog family, when you hear that music, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to bid you good night, St. Kitts and Nevis. Good night to the entire Caribbean region, wherever you may be, and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. I must also include my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and Nevisian diaspora who are logged on to ZIZonline.com. Wherever you may be in the world, you're on the World Wide Web, so you can be anywhere in one of these regions. Some of you may be in Asia, some of you may be in Africa, some of you are in Europe, and some of you are certainly right here in North America. So I can say good night, I can say good morning, and or I will say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves, and we are all in and or under the same predicament. And it seems as though I have not had a dialogue with this week, Monday the 13th to be exact. We have not had a dialogue because last week Thursday it was National Heroes Day. So Heroes Day has come and gone. Monday gone was our Independence Day. Independence have therefore come and gone. The CPL, the Caribbean Premier League, that's 2020, that too has come and gone. Since we last spoke as well, the cruise ships have come and gone. In respect of independence, we celebrated independence under the theme, adapt, diversify, recreate Independence 38. And under that theme, Kittitians and Nevisians commemorated our federation's independence from the United Kingdom, from Mother England, almost 4 decades ago, way back in 1983 to be exact. And I recall that Saturday night as a young man journeying to Warner Park when the Union Jack came down at midnight and our national flag, designed by Aegis Lewis, that's how I know, no disrespect to her current name, the Aegis, from up the road from me, she designed that national flag. And another Newtowner, Kenrick Georges, composed the national anthem. May Kenrick's soul rest in eternal peace. And I recall that Saturday night, and when the flag was raised, our national flag that is, was raised just after midnight, that early Sunday morning, Independence morning, I saw people crying. Tears of joy, no doubt. I saw people really crying. Tears of pride. And the skies opened up and the rain sprinkled down. How many of us remember that? That was also a blessing. So we've been blessed since that as a nation. But for me, I found the theme of this year's celebration, this year's independence celebration, I found that theme very instructive and appropriate to the times in which we have now been forced to live. Adapt. It suggests that we become adjusted to the new conditions. Even the church had to adapt. Businesses have to adapt. Using technology, for example, with the church, the use of technology to reach their congregation. They're gone virtual, as we say. Diversify as an economy and a people to protect ourselves against further risks. But what about spiritual diversification? Should we as a people change from our satanic ways and start doing the things that are pleasant in the sight of God? And when I say so, I think of the pilgrim songs of King David, found in Psalms 122, 124, 131, and 133. But there's one of those Psalms, 133, verse 1. How good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. That's the pilgrim song I want to use as my point of departure this evening. As we recreate, we breathe new life into our nation, into our own lives, make an overhaul, reestablish, reorganize. The theme, in my view, helps us as citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis to focus on national wellness and economic rejuvenation. It prepares us for the challenging times that we are faced with, taking into consideration the global environmental crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, and the local economy that is heavily dependent upon tourism, upon import, trade, and other external influences. But it's a good thing that after we gain independence, the nation inaugurated the world's best and longest standing citizenship by investment program in 1984 under the Dr. Simmons administration. And we can look back, we can reflect on a remarkable record of growth and national achievements. If this pandemic, beg your pardon, has taught us anything, it should be how to adapt to a new normal. It has also allowed us to diversify our efforts and to recreate new trends. And as I speak with you, the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA 76 as we call it, opened last week Tuesday, the 14th of September 2021. The first day of the high-level general debate was this week Tuesday, the 21st of September 2021. Is affectionately called the high-level week, one of the busiest moments within the UN system. 193 nations in this, what they call World Parliament. The leaders would come forth each year, except for the last 2 years and this year. But in spite of the note verbal issued by the host country, the United States of America, who made it clear that for all UN-hosted meetings and side events beyond the general debate to be virtual, the United States, the host country, cited the cases of the Delta variant and warned against super spreaders, these large crowds. Our Foreign Minister, the Honorable Mark Brantley, is in town. Yes, he attended the assembly and they've been doing some bilaterals as well in the process. But this, according to the United Nations Secretary General, is the most challenging period for the UN in world history. Working through a world pandemic is not an easy task. With less than 10 years to implement the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 30, ambitious goals they are, to end poverty in all forms, everywhere, end hunger, achieve food security, and of course take action to address climate variability. Climate change is affecting every country on every continent. It is disrupting national economies and affecting lives. Weather patterns are changing, sea level rise, or sea levels are rising, I should say, and weather events are becoming more extreme. Look at what happened right here in New York. I spoke about it just on the last program, I think it was. Over 3 inches of rain fell in 1 hour. Those who were in their basements suffered the drown. Look at what happened in Dominica. Look at what happened in Antigua and Barbuda. Look at what happened in St. Kitts. Look at what's happening, I should say, in St. Kitts. Reduced rainfall or rainfall deficit. The first part or half of this year, you understand, it was over 50% rainfall deficit in St. Kitts and Nevis. And that caused water shortage. Sea level rise caused the intrusion of salt or salt intrusion in our aquifer or our well field. That has impacted negatively as well on our water supply. Look at what sea level rise did across Old Road Bay, but thank God we rectified that and have averted that danger caused from soil and rock slippage across Old Road Bay. And I'm humbled to have been part of that. But as we strive for the achievement of a durable peace, changes are required if we are going to make progress in a practical way. But what we have to do is to be realistic. It may be slow. It may be painful, because as a small island development state like St. Kitts and Nevis, we have limited resources and we receive limited support. We have been graduated as a high-income country. Thus, the eligible criteria for concessional loans is not good for us. But yet, we are exposed. We are exposed as a nation to the vagaries of climate change. But one former ambassador to the UN, a former ambassador of Pakistan, Leon Trotsky, once declared that process is substance, the end is irrelevant. Speaking in the context of peace and security, Trotsky opined that in politics and statecraft, the outcome of negotiations is largely determined by the process adopted. Process defines the agenda, modalities, linkages, and pace of any negotiation or interaction. The final result is determined by the process and the relative power of the parties that are involved. And as the UN High-Level Week continues, leaders are still encouraged, or were encouraged I should say, to focus on the theme, building resilience through hope, to recover from COVID-19, rebuild sustainably, respond to the needs of the planet, respect the rights of people, and revitalize the United Nations. Our leader, the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris, our Prime Minister, delivers his statement tomorrow, God spare, at approximately 7 p.m. And I'm sure ZZTV and radio and all social platforms will remind you. And it's important that we listen to the Prime Minister's statement at the National Assembly, or the General Assembly, I should say, of the United Nations tomorrow. Provocative and surprising statements have been streamed from the podium in the United Nations General Assembly Hall. The President of Brazil, he was the first presenter on Tuesday, followed by the President of the United States of America, Joseph Biden. But as speakers simultaneously address their domestic and international audiences, vaccinations are near, or perhaps may be on top of the list for the topics that heads of states continue and those to come are expected to address from the podium at UNGA. Recall or be reminded that in November this year, countries will be heading to Glasgow in Scotland for the United Nations Climate Change Conference, or COP26, for which parties must submit enhanced action plans and targets as part of the Paris Agreement on climate change. Climate finance and adaptation are also likely to be part of the discussion at that general debate. But the practical arrangements for the conduct of the general debate and the high-level meetings right here in New York and at the 76th session of the General Assembly is being affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The holding of meetings and how they are conducted, and the number of attendees. For example, the United Nations moved from 1 person in the General Assembly to 2 persons, and now for the General Assembly it's now 4 persons only. No other persons are allowed in part. 4 delegates, I should say, and not persons. And the United Nations has adopted a policy that sometime in June, the pilot project, whereby once you swipe your pass to enter the General Assembly Hall, you have indicated that you are fully vaccinated. To enter restaurants in New York, you must show your COVID card indicating that you're fully vaccinated. It's important to be vaccinated. I understand that the US will soon mandate that all flights or all persons on international flights entering the US must be fully vaccinated. That's where the world is going. What's next to come is the question. What vaccines will the US accept? Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca? That will come out as soon as possible. But, my Straight Dog family, as I said, the high-level week has started. On the 20th, on Wednesday, beg your pardon, the Assembly, or the United Nations, as you say, commemorated the 20th anniversary of the adoption of the Durban Declaration and Program of Action. That was interesting. The high-level meetings continue on next week, Tuesday. Very important would be the promotion and commemoration of the International Day for the total elimination of nuclear weapons. That's Tuesday the 28th. Come Monday the 22nd of November, the Global Action to Combat Trafficking in Persons will also be addressed. And come next March, another high-level meeting for the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. And the agenda will continue till the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. The Urban Agenda, Habitat 3, the International Day Against Nuclear Tests, are some of the high-level plenary meetings that would come to the UN General Assembly Hall. But getting back to our independence theme, though, I will submit in the course of adapting, diversifying, and recreating, we need action from the process to deal with the crisis of today and the challenges of tomorrow. Most important, though, I believe that we can only achieve peace, security, and prosperity for our own country, and speaking in the Caribbean context, if we embrace our diversity, respect each other, and put our faith in God. That's the only way we will achieve those things. If we put our faith in God, we can be assured that we will be a better people as a result. Since 2020, when we first experienced the coronavirus-induced pandemic, we have learned some very hard lessons. We have learned how to cope with difficulties and to find ways to be resilient and rise above them. We have learned how to cope and help those who have suffered and to comfort those who have lost loved ones. And when we look at the stats, I look at the stats today, and this is as of yesterday, so forgive me if something else was released today. But since we last spoke on Monday the 13th, we've had 204 new cases confirmed in St. Kitts. As of yesterday, 22nd, the number of cases has totaled 1,444 cases on St. Kitts. It has increased since we spoke from 318, increased by some 49 cases in Nevis. And unfortunately, we have had 2 more deaths since we last spoke here on Straight Talk. But there's some hope, because since we last spoke as well, we've had 245 more persons receiving their first dose of the vaccines that are being administered. 245 on St. Kitts and 137 on Nevis, thus giving us a total of 382. So since last week, we've had 382 cases, since we last spoke, I should say, and a total of 47,098 doses have already been administered, and a total of 21,920 persons have been fully vaccinated. And that's good news. That's good news, my family. So it is left for us, therefore, to embrace and continually apply those lessons of compassion and love for our fellow men. We must continue to embrace and to apply those lessons in the future and to teach our children the new realities of adapting and living through this pandemic in this period of our existence. For those reasons, let us thank God for preserving us and protecting our country, even in the face of the pandemic and the challenges it has brought. Nevertheless, we can still give God thanks for life and the hope of tomorrow. As a young man, I was taught that we should fear not tomorrow, because we have lived yesterday. So let us love today. Don't mind the idle noises. I also learned as a young man that empty vessels make the most noise. So keep focus. Let us look at a pilgrim song, or another pilgrim song of David found in Psalm 124. Then ask ourselves, what if the Lord had not been on our side? Let me hear you. Ask yourselves, what if the Lord had not been on our side when the coronavirus attacked us? The simple answer is, God has blessed us with talents to ride out this storm. To my fellow Kittians and divisions, I say, I trust you had a happy independence. May God continue to bless our nation and bless, protect, and prosper us as a people in unity. My Straight Talk family, that's my story tonight, and you better believe it. I haven't spoken to you for some time. It seems as if forever. So I am going to give you your opportunity to say what you think has happened since we last had our dialogue. As I said, the CPL has gone, the cruise ships have come and gone and are coming back. Heroes Day and independence has gone. COVID has come, but it's not going. So I'll open the lines, entertain your calls, and entertain your emails. I always like to implore you, before I do so, please respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let's ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. The numbers are 465-2555 and or 718-277-2916. And if you wish to take part as well through our email platform, then the address is the address is zizstraighttalk@gmail.com. The number again for those in the overseas line is 718-577-2916. The mayor from St. Paul's is in the house. I thank him for that guidance. And it's 8:29, right to the bottom of the hour. We go straight to the lines. Caller, you are live. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yes, good evening to you, namesake.
Namesake, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good for an old man. I just want to say happy belated independence to you and to all the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We are doing pretty fine, and by God's grace, we can go further. I just want to say diversify, recreate Independence 38. I'm so happy that I'm alive and well and enjoying the fruits of our labor. Now, Patty, I want to say tonight that in spite of all that is going on around us, we got to give God thanks, because if it wasn't for the Lord on our side, where would St. Kitts and Nevis be in this time of pandemic? But I want to say, because of our leader that we have steering the ship of state, he directed as he was advised from above and also by our medical fraternity. And I just want to say thank God for a man like Dr. Harris, that he listens to the cry of the people, and he listens and he acts promptly, and he is a man of common sense, and whenever he moves, he makes sure he puts God first before he do anything. And I'm so happy that we have a man who loves God, and God loves him. God is directing him the right way to go. And I say, because of that, the ship of state of St. Kitts and Nevis is doing well, and we are sailing through rough seas and calm seas. And because of that, the ship of state continue to sail. And we're going to continue to sail with our people holding on to the horns of the altar and continue to pray and to believe that God is who he is. And as long as we continue to trust God, we're going to come out on top. We're going to always be on the winning side and not on the losing side. God bless you. Have a good night.
Yes, my brother. Let's go straight back to lines. Call your line.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Mosiah, Garvey and Queen, and sing. God bless the evening, my beloved African brother. How are you, the family?
Peaceful, my brother. What about you and your family?
Good, man. Good. I'm good, and the clan is good. Giving thanks, beloved. Now, beloved, I want to speak about when the foreign minister going to be speaking. It's Friday or Saturday in front of the UN National Assembly. Well, Apaches, what's going on here? Well, Apaches.
Yes, my brother. The Prime Minister speaks tomorrow at about 7 o'clock, virtually.
Okay, that's what. 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. or p.m.
7 p.m., my brother. Between 7 and 8 p.m. Tomorrow. All right. Things, well, depends on how long speakers say. There's normally 15 minutes, but some. You see what happened with Biden last Tuesday. So it may vary, but the provisional list suggests 7 p.m.
Okay. Well, I hope this year, right? And you and I have been calling for this for years, and your minister, even before then. I hope, my beloved brother Mark Brantley, speak about two things. Reparations for African people when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade, and climate change, beloved. Just like how talk about Taiwan and in favor of Taiwan, I have no problem with that. But you got to dance a yard before you dance abroad. I know Taiwan being, donating stuff over the years and everything, but brother, reparations for African peoples is more important than relationship with any country on this planet, beloved. We must get paid, and we must not ask anybody. We got to demand reparation. And I don't know what these countries in CARICOM is afraid of, because only one or two of them will be speaking about reparations. And no time, but beloved, not because COVID. 'Cause I personally am sick and tired. My heart goes out, my sympathy, my empathy go to all of those who perish so far, beloved, and is sick. This COVID thing. We know it's real, whether it's a pandemic, a pandemic. We all know COVID is real. COVID-19. We don't know where it came from. We don't know if it was, we know where it came from, but we don't know if it is deliberate escape. I come out of nature, beloved. So, brother, I am just sick and tired. Every day, COVID. I ain't going to get us nowhere as African people. So, I hope, Brother Mark Bartley, that is number one on his agenda, reparations for African people. Not just he alone, all of them in CARICOM. What you say, beloved?
As I said, the Prime Minister will be making the statement tomorrow, not the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you, man. His phone like in and out. I didn't hear you for about about 10 seconds, you know. You're going in and out. Okay, well, whosoever it is, whether it's the Prime Minister, who, beloved, that statement, something must be said about reparations. It would have been better if all of the governments, all of the governmental administration in CARICOM, come as a united front and speak about reparations for African people. Like I said, I have no problem with the whole thing for Taiwan or anything like that, but reparations must be front and center. And then climate changes, brother. Because if we ain't got no country, the land wipe out all of these small islands in the Caribbean, in the Pacific, where we going to live. And we must leave things for our children, grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren for forever, beloved. So those are the things that is relevant and pertinent to us as African people. Brother, I know someone else want to speak. Pan-Africanism or perish. One love, my beloved African brother.
One love, my brother. They heard you loud and clear. You want to hear about reparation. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live. Are you there, caller? Yes, turn your radio down, turn your equipment down. Stop the telephone.
Good evening, Honorable Patrick Liburd. Happy Independence to you.
Fellow.
I just want to tell you your introductions you make tonight with what come and gone. I want to let you know that if you never hear, the houses on Wellington Road done come and gone also. Okay? So I don't know what's going on. That's all I have to say so long. So I know in your introduction you talk about this shit, you talk about this one, you talk about that, you talk about the CPL and everything. But I noticed where you put your plant, your seeds in Wellington Road to look out for your people. Them done come and gone. You understand me? So I think you should address that, address it and how you want to do it. Okay? So God bless you. Okay, good night.
Good night, my brother Rockefeller. Yes, the Wellington Rose houses, some of them have come and gone. There are some issues as they relate to the distribution of the houses, and I can say, you know, we have found ourselves in some situations that cannot be resolved easily. That's as much as I'll say tonight. But caller, you are live.
Good evening, Patrick. How are you this evening, sir?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Great, hanging in there. I've been, as I told you, I get to listen to that I said earlier at morning. It's 5:30. I listen when I wake up, you know. And they're doing some good. Jazzy D, she's great. Jazzy D, He's really good. But there's no consistency about them, you know. One time they come on, they say we'll be on tomorrow, then you get up, you hear BBC. I mean, I have no problem with BBC. I grew up with BBC. But once after 6, once I hear the Jim Reeves theme song, I go to a station in Antigua called Caribbean Radio Lighthouse or something like that. They play some really great music. But the guy, what I call him, he plays some dumb music. So as soon as 6 o'clock, if I need to listen to some religious station, I go to the station in Antigua, Caribbean Radio Lighthouse. But anyhow, it's good to hear it, you know. These are the things you and I, we grew up with. No, I happen to be passing this station and I listen to it. And I know this guy, the guy out there or whatever, will say, all right, yeah, listen to me music. I was not listening to music, but I was passing up there Friday. And when I hear the station, I said, Sinkers has really gone. This guy, the Flanders guy, I think they call him E-Car Girl, whatever the person is, talking about nanny and this, about women, nanny and nanny this and nanny that. And then sometimes I see him say, me got 2 baby mother, me got 2 baby. This station is destroying, it has destroyed our people. This station has this what the name of that, sucker of freedom. It has destroyed our people. Our people have no more morals. The man up there talking about nanny. No decent person used those kind of words before. Nanny. I had to get off the station quick. I mean, really fast. Anyhow, it's a shame you're not there because, like I say, you're an exceptional black man. The things you did in Sinkers in such a short while, it's unbelievable. But things is going to turn off for you. Let me tell you that, okay? No, but there's a lot of things was happening in Sinkers to talk about independence. But let me tell you something. Maybe with a few streets and whatnot, we have improved. But that's true around the whole Caribbean. But our people have gone to the dogs. There are no values. Like I tell you, the boy, whoever he is, tell the boy from wherever he come from, talking about nanny and you don't use that kind of words growing up. In fact, the police will probably arrest you. And this is what our women accepted. And that is why they've gone to the dogs. Anyhow, during the time of the labor mafia thing, the mafia labor party, we had a lot of extrajudicial killings. A lot of killings, period. And I say extrajudicial because the government knew they were part of it. I'm surprised America didn't drop a bomb on them before. Sinkers had gone to dogs, okay? And like I said, Dr. Harris has been the game changer. He's the one who made Sinkers but he got to go at the Douglas Mafia Labor Party, okay? This thing have destroyed a lot of petitions. They're talking about, we want, what reparation? You have land, and you give it away to the white man and everybody else. They gave it away, okay? The Mafia Labor Party gave away the people's land. Our people, they're not better. We're worse off, okay? So these are things have to be, and when they had the voting up there in New York, not New York, what you call it? Where your constituency, former constituency, Newtown. I hope you know that your boy Simmons went up there and voted against you, right? He voted for his own blood, so hope you know that. Okay? It's a lot of dirty crookedness have gone on in Sinkers since independence, okay? We need more people like you, exceptional people. People like you who work. This guy is good. He ain't got no PhD, but he know what he want. He's a tricky titian. But let me tell you, Patrick, Sinkers has gone worse than it was before independence. Reparation, what? You got land and you give it over to the white man and everybody else. What are these people? And I've told you how you come down hard on that guy about putting those houses in there. Okay? He reminds me of Victory. He's that type. But thank God you stand up for the people, for the small people. But look, let me tell you, Patrick, all the best to you. And tell those people in the stations, if they want people, they have to have some consistency early in the morning. But the lady Jazzy D, she's good. And a man called in from Sandy Point. He was a teacher. I can't remember his name, but he's good too. But anyhow, our people don't care what they get. If they get a reparation, they're going to try to rain liquor to the white man. an expensive can clothes. Okay? But let me go, Pappy. Have a good evening,
Okay.
and God bless you. Okay, buddy?
God bless you as well, my dear brother. Never afraid to talk his mind. Let's go back to the lines. It's 8:45. The numbers are 465-255 and or 718-577-2916. Caller, you are live.
Do not be surprised. This is radical culture, and I ain't ready yet for the talk show. But I agree with Shefton, I agree with Rock, and I agree with Harvey, and some of the things when Nabu said, I agree with him. Nabu, you got to come home, come dance a yard, because you can't go dance abroad before you dance down here. Anyway, I'm okay, Nabu. Everybody, culture is stronger than ever. That is, I'm just working on my vocals. Because when I come back, I got a lot of licks to chop. I ain't need no politics, nothing. I am a country builder. I am doing what John F. Kennedy said. Me not ask what the country could do for me, but it's what I can do for my country. And I am trying to keep my country afloat by calling all hands on deck. And who want to be lazy and what the boat sink, they will find the consequence. They will know the consequence when they drop down in the water. Now let me give you a headline. What everything Shefton say, you agree with him there, because this radio station and the people who work there, their intention is to mash up the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis in whatever way they can. Right now they're using the verbal weapons, and only God knows what's coming next. Because 2017, we had a hurricane, and a couple months after, the leader of the opposition said he can do everything to get Harris out of government office. Couple months after that, a man was held, caught, down Newton Grong Bay, with a sniper's rifle, had on, a microscope up, Christopher Columbus binoculars thing. Why are you going in a strange country with a long gun like that? Where are you going to shoot? Giraffe head? Giraffe head high up in here so you don't lose, so you want a long gun walk reach up there? He come here to do a job with a gun. And if people could dig deep in what you hear. And again, the next thing I'm going to know, because I ain't come to make no talk, I just want everybody to know what's going on. One of them who was over here on Unity Party, so he's a Unity member. And he don't say a lot of bad things about the leader of the opposition. How the leader of the opposition in the other night went Nevis in a boat and nearly drowned. How he's so greedy for power. And he is the worst thing for St. Kitts and Nevis. And God August said, well, we back together again. He meeting Unity people. Meeting them in the street and ask them if they're still over there with them crooked people. They need to come over here. Come over here on Labour side. So you see them dangerous, crooked nigger have we got here? You better get wise with them people there. Now everybody who smiles with you mean it from the heart. Come over here, play Unity, and now look where they be. I come in telling Unity people, disrespecting Unity people, but they must come back over here and leave them crooked people over there, call Unity. Are you? Watch them, Patches. Patches, that's why you see, are you glad when I stop writing with slate? Because when you write with slate and you're going home away and come, your mother can't see the big correct you get in school. I like me book, you got to get a big rubber to rub out while you write down in the book. You write down in the book, you plans for the houses them up Wellington Road, and they come with a rubber and you slate and they rub it off, and they do what they want. That is why they should be out up there, because they know what they had planned. But anyway, enough of that. Patches, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, my brother.
I like that. I love that.
Morning. What about you?
Man, I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful and marvelous. Is Jesus our Lord. And the last thing I'm going to end on before I go, I lay down on my chair today and I come to one conclusion now. This coronavirus epidemic, I believe the Lord is punishing the innocent, and once you're guilty and you're near the innocent, you're going to get licks too. I believe so. Because look at it, Patrick, the amount of wickedness going on with some people who are supposed to be teaching and leading the way, which is the gospel. The Bible says, if those who are called by my name, should humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven. And let me tell you this here, I got a cousin call me and tell me. She said, cuz, I feel bad. A man from Guyana is a pastor of a church, and he has his own business in Guyana. And this Facebook business, he doing good and he doing bad. He get on the Facebook and he telling my cousin, she's a good looking woman, he love to see her and he would like to get even with her, let a friend. And she asked him certain questions, and she asked certain people to investigate about him. The man is married, live with his wife and 3 children, but he want to come to St. Kitts to marry to her. Quick, he said, may you know what is quickness in? Now, you as a pastor, you're supposed to be teaching people about Christ, not foolish and stupidness. So therefore, I believe God punishing the whole world because of wickedness from people. No man righteous. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So everybody gonna get punished. All what we got to do? Be on the alert and be observant. Thank you so long, Dr. Ian Patrick Loiby. You have done a great job and you are doing good. And nobody could stop you if God put you there. Continue. You love praise and you love to pray and everybody praying for you.
Thank you.
So, look, anyway, I got the calypso line up for you. Let me tell you this.
Came to mind. And
No, not now, man, not now. I wait until the vocal them smooth up like glass. Because, let me tell you now.
So good to hear my brother culture.
It's 6 verses I got for you, you know.
What if the Lord had not been on our side when the coronavirus attacked us? 8 before 9, call your life.
Hello. Yes. Good evening, I am Patrick.
How are you?
I'm good. I hear you say, empty vessel make the most noise. I don't make it empty, so you're telling you what from me, I make noise. Anyway, the houses them don't give up, right?
Please.
And you was not at the group to give up the houses them. There was unity give out the house them because the number 8 can't give out the house them. He got to be the big man and he give out the house them. But I got my cousin get one. And the other people them. But God gonna help them that they could pray. They could pray that they could pay for them. And looking at this here, the boat them come and lots of tourists come, but they went in the big bus them. And the small people them all in a down, the taxi people them, they don't even follow the protocol and they still ain't get no tourists. Lots of them ain't get no food to give the people them. And plus looking at the cricket, a lot of them food spoil because the cricket people them had people to cook for them. So same case, you bet the money, but the people them a ball that they had to pay up there in the park to repart the rent. A lot of them cover the food. Yes. And you have a good night. Empty vessel is me making noise. I hear you. I take up the word. Take care. See you.
My labor friend. She addressed the CPL, she addressed the cruise ship, she addressed the houses. That can't be an empty vessel. No, not you, my dear Cassandra. Let's go back to the lines. Call your live. Let's call her.
Yo, Patrick.
Yes, my brother.
I'm here.
Go
Bumpy.
ahead, hearing you.
You hearing me?
Yes, James Davis.
James Davis. I'm glad to hear your voice. And I want you to do. You know you're out there to do a mission and you're out there to do a big job. Okay? Take care of my Prime Minister and my Premier. Make sure they get the best of it. You understand what I say? Because I'm not making no joke with my PM. my Prime Minister, he's speaking tomorrow. And I'm so proud that a young boy from St. Kitts is going to speak tomorrow at the PM, at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whenever time it is. I'm so proud of that, my Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris. And I will like him when he don't speak tomorrow. We ain't talking about no African and no Waynium. I want him to speak about St. Kitts Nevis, the Federation. Because we people here in the Federation are suffering in a diplomatical way of psychology of science. And due to the fact of that, we have to praise God for everything that we do and everything that's coming to us. Because then, we're in a warfare. We have a demon out there in the atmosphere that's creating a problem in the universe. Right? A demon that nobody can see. And due to the fact of that there, I'm expecting my Prime Minister to go out there and let them people and those presidents and whoever it is in UN that then we need assistance here. And we need it urgent. So help me God. And I'm expecting him to answer to the protocols, any protocols, and reason like a gentleman. I have no problem with your patches. I have no problem with my Prime Minister, because then tell him I say that I want him to run his own party in the next election. James Davis says so. All 8 seats I want. Next election. Goodbye. And thank you. And you take care of yourself. And may the Lord be with you forever. And I say happy independence to him and happy independence to the nation. I want my nation to rally behind Dr. Timothy Harris. Because then I know that then that's the most intelligent man that we have to run this federation. Thank you. Good night. Bye. Brother Bumpy up.
Good night, Brother Bumpy. Yes. And the leaders are encouraged to focus on the theme that at the United Nations, building resilience through hope to recover from COVID-19, rebuild sustainably, respond to the needs of the planet, respect the rights of people, and revitalize the United Nations. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you are live. I thank you for holding. You seem to have missed that call, but just in the event you have just joined us, my people, we looked at the issues that confront us. We looked at the theme of our independence, which we celebrated just on Sunday gone, the 19th of September. But let's go back to the lines meanwhile. Caller, you're live. It's 2 before 9. Let's go.
Mr. Patches? Hello, Mr. Patches.
Bible man. How is the Bible man?
But the Bible man done Monday was his birthday.
Ah, happy belated birthday.
Yeah, man. By God's grace, I am living by the grace of God. I am living to live again. And I'm thanking God for life. And that the word of God says, oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his good. His mercy endureth forever. He said, let the redeemed of the Lord say so, who you have redeemed from the hands of the enemy. Mr. Patrick, I want to tell you that more than ever, we had to give God thanks and praise here. Because I hear this afternoon that I don't know how to treat it, but they say a category 1 is coming to St. Kitts. So I don't know how true that is. But that ain't gonna reach here. By the grace of God, he can shift. So I am saying to him, Mr. Patrick, you doing a great job, and people don't like when you talk the truth of the thing, people get offended. So I don't care. And I'm saying this. Remember the fact is, the heart are deceitful and desperate. Who can know it by God? God says he searched the heart, he tried the word, and he given a man according to his works. So you know what to worry your head. God lift you up, send you on your way, and all you have to do, look after the people of St. Kitts. All right. So I bless you. Thank you for the time, and have a pleasant night, Mr. Patrick. All the best.
I hope you had a wonderful birthday. Okay, Miss Bible Man, happy belated birthday. You were almost born on Independence Day. Your mama took too long. Maybe one day too long. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yes, me again, Patrick. I understand me,
Why you getting so fast?
That the lady married. She passed away when we woke up the port, but me ain't not here for today. But Patrick, looking at St. Kitts, right? I will want more pay, you know, because working hard, and when you look, you can't see what you work for. And plus of it again, the money is so much in the country, but the work is in the country. So when you work, you got to get more money. And looking at this Boston High School, may see it built yet, and the year nearly finished. So I look upon them deal. Because I say, it's them going to take. And this amount of lockdown, they will lockdown and say that corona, right? People home, and then I get no money. So all I want to know is I ain't got nothing to put them on Social Security before they get a little change. Because people home ain't got no money to spend. Because of the lockdown. Yes, you take care of me now, call back safe journey. Because I hear them say that you got a lot of women, so me, I'm going to get squeezed. Somebody from Newton tell me so yesterday. So, me want to squeeze, and me want to hold up the line for you. Thank you.
Oh, my. You know, you represent much better than those in the opposition that you are supporting. Because the issues you are raising are so vital. And when you listen to what's happened to those elected, why don't you run in East Basti and see if you can give me some licks? Caller, you're live. Are you there, caller? Yes, caller, you're live. Yes, the numbers are 465-2555. If you're calling on the US line, it's 718-577-2916. Whenever you are calling, just move away from your equipment, turn your radio down, listen to your telephone so to avoid the feedback. You do apologize for the calls that keep dropping. But it's 9:04. We go straight back to the lines. Call you live.
Yeah, Patrick, come to again. I want to tell you something. I want you to pray every morning for this federation. And I want you to pray every day for your prime minister and your premier that you have up there. Remember, they went in one piece and they shall come back in one piece. You went in one piece and you shall come back in one piece. And you shall come back to run your seat. Use your head, use your brain, use the psychology of science, and make sure you come back as a big man. Because what? You see the harassment we have here. But then, don't let these things break you down. Don't study nobody. Think about your future. Think about you. And think about the people of the Federation. The most important factor, the GI out there now, so the most all you got to do now, go to the UN now. And let the UN know what your people need. Your people need money. Raise up pay. The people them need raise up pay. See you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Brother Bumpy. Some people are getting in so quickly, others just can't. But, you know, COVID has changed the world. It is now more complex. It's the more uncertainty. There's much more unpredictability. But let's go back to the lines at 906. Caller, you're live.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. How are you?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Yes, I just wanted to say, you know, the way our system's going on, black people, we don't have any unity, man. We're lacking with unity, and with unity, we can do much more. I see the Haitian people right now, you know, they're going through it, and that's a regional issue in the Caribbean. And, you know, I understand Haiti is part of CARICOM. It doesn't really seem so to me. What is CARICOM doing about this issue? You know, like everybody knows and everybody see those pictures of all those Haitians at the southern United States border. And, you know, the attitude that black people sometimes adapt is, if it doesn't affect us, we don't care about it. Haiti is a member of CARICOM, I understand, and you know, the Caribbean islands, they're all sitting there, the leaders in the Caribbean, they're all sitting there and watching this development, and then they don't even really want to talk about it, man. And, you know, until it comes into, you know, each individual island, you know, like the people in St. Kitts and Nevis, until something really affects them, or the different islands in the Caribbean, nobody wants to address this Haitian issue. You know, the Haitian people have been getting some bad treatment, and, you know, like we see also the Black Lives Matter movement in America, where are they right now? You know, the Haitian people are not black like they are. They only care about blacks in America. But, you know, the Caribbean region and CARICOM, they got to step up, bro. They don't seem like they're doing anything about that issue. I hope everybody in the whole world saw those images of those white border patrol people on horses. You know, they're swinging, I've seen pictures that they're swinging ropes like they're lassoing animals, man. Those pictures depict just as what happened during slavery and the movement of Africans across the Atlantic Ocean. And that underlying tone of racism in America, man, is still there. And this week, we have all heads of government in New York, and let's see who is going to step up and talk about it against America. You know, we're inside America now at the UN party in New York, and I guarantee you, no one is going to address that. You know, St. Kitts and Nevis, man, is in a unique position to address this stuff. The Prime Minister should address this tomorrow night. He should address this, man. You know, he's part of CARICOM himself. Let's see what he's going to talk about tomorrow. But that Haitian issue needs to be mentioned and talked about, bro. All right, man. Thanks a lot, man. That's my contribution.
Thanks for your contribution, and well documented. But the Haitian issue has occupied the United Nations Security Council for some time now, even long before now. And the Security Council has the primary responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security. It's one of the powerful organs of the United Nations, right? And it has 50 members. 5 of them are permanent members. the membership or the non-permanent members include one member from the CARICOM region, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but to say that it has not been addressed at the United Nations, that's not so, because the United Nations Security Council has placed that top on the agenda. But let's go back to the lines. At 9:10, caller, you're live.
I just come back because my conscience pricking me. Me and you go way back when ZZ started 1961. And it's a shame to see the owner of the Panic Factory is allowing those kind of comments on the factory, like what Shefton said. Because the owner said when he was working up ZZ, he only put on a record to play. And Mr. Bracho sent up this station and asked who is working. And Mr. Bracho disciplined him for 2 weeks for playing a record. But then now we can allow people to be on the Panic Factory to tarnish the name, the good name of the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis with them kind of language what Chef can say, the DJ up the calling on the radio and talking about woman this and woman that. So that is, anybody can see playing out, their intention is to mash up the country. And like Rock always say, that station there should be disciplined. Don't shut it down. But when you play certain things on that station that is not suitable for people to hear, come on, you got children all over the place are listening, and children learn very quick. Discipline them, but his intention is to mash up the country for the sake of labor and not for unity. And me, I can't nobody say, when you find people want to mash up your life, you got to keep from them and put something to stop it. Thank you, Patty. That is all I call back to say. Because my conscience will not allow me to sleep without let that out from me. You can't have people damaging your reputation, man. You can't do that. Thank you, Patches.
Thank you very much, my brother Culture. Good to hear. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Yes, caller.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Good night, Honorable.
Good night, my dear.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm fine myself. I'm just calling on the behalf of my husband and I to say thank you very much. Hello?
You got your radio on? Just turn it down.
You can hear me now?
That's a little better.
Okay, I'm saying I'm just calling on the behalf of my husband and myself to say thank you very much, and may God bless you and always bless you.
Mrs. Phoenix and Mr. Phoenix,
yes,
also known as Hippie.
Yes.
I'm happy that you got your wishes in spite of what happened before. But don't mention.
When God is in the midst, you smile at the storm.
That is so correct. That is so correct. That's the right approach. God bless you.
God bless you too, honey, and hurry and come home.
Okay, my dear. Thanks a lot. Give Hippie my regards. It's 14 past the 9 o'clock hour. Again, the numbers are 465-2555 or 718-577-2916. At 14 past 9, we go straight back to the lines. Call your line.
Good night, Patrick.
Good night, Mr. Politics.
Yeah, man, I'm here, man. I'm here. Look, I just tuned into the program because I went out to just reach home and I didn't get to hear the opening statement. But I know that you always come with the facts and with the truth, and that is where I appreciate straight talk is all about. And as people who are honest and conscious, listening to straight talk
you always get the truth because you always have the information when you back up or whoever you say. Now, Patches, I want to comment. First, I want to wish the nation a belated happy independence and straight talk. Independent just gone. And I want to wish the cultural king back to back in history, Hollywood. I want to wish him all the best. And he set a record, Hollywood, King Hollywood. And I hear that you resign. And you know what's with you? You step down to be a younger man a chance because you got somebody coming and very powerful. And also to Miko daughter, she's a powerful Calypsonian too. That was good. I listen to the competition. And Patches, I listen to culture just now. And I listen to many people talking about this panic factory. Up to Tuesday, I was going to come up from town on a bus. And the bus, the panic factory radio station was on, the program, what they call History was on. And I hear Mr. Cook lambasting the Honorable General Powell, lambasting the Prime Minister, lambasting you, lambasting Lindsey Grant, and saying all kind of things about lock up and thief and all kind of things. And the manager at the radio station and the talk show host, Patches, all of them just alike. Both of them flock together. That's why I respect the Prime Minister now. That's why I respect the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris as the Prime Minister of this country. Because he wouldn't go there. Because he know they got for him. He know they got for him. The top of the panic factory, he have no super PAM. And Jonel and others from PAM will go in there. And they go in there and they run around them and ask them all kind of question, all kind of thing. They will never ask the man who bank up the country. They will never ask him that. Because I remember that when, in a press conference, when the top of the panic factory asked the Prime Minister then a question when he was there, you know, I tell him, but if he was Miss Forum, you're get to about that. You come with that? You come with that? You understand? These people are not used for the country when a next government in office, a next party in office. They have no use for the country, that's about itself. And this man calling me and saying, kind of thing about people, calling the Prime Minister Big Stone, calling people pedophile and all these things. But I want to tell him, right, the top of the pedophile, right in the panic factory, because a lot of school girls are up the gut they used to go. I never teach it. I do security by school, I never teach it. Calling people pedophile and all kind of things. You understand? But the person tell me that people calling the name. Have no respect for the country. We are in a COVID situation. The government is trying the best. The task force is trying the best. And this man coming every day. And these people listening to him. And the boss at the panic factory. I want to know if they don't have a guard in them. They don't have a guard in them at all. Are they going to live forever? And they're going to get back in government and they're going to get rid of that. I want to know if they're going to live forever. They're going to live 100 years. What is terrible because the Federation should get Nevis. People are sick by the protocol. We know that we in a COVID situation. We know the figure. School open, school closed down. The classes some of them got to quarantine and do all kind of thing. We live with it. We got to live with COVID for time. That is our wonderful God. We have to get back.
God bless you as well, my dear brother. The fact is, Mr. Politics, and some people don't seem to realize that the game is over. CPL gone, cricket done. They seem to want to just put up their stumps and start to play a game. play a game with whom? No, the game is over. You said birds of a feather flock together. I said empty vessels make the most noise. So, let's ignore them. Those empty drums. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Okay, we seem to have lost a caller, but if you just joined us, we looked at the several issues, and I missed you for about a week, 2 consecutive shows. I thought I would just give you an open line, so to speak, so you can raise your issues. Some people are sending belated independence greetings, and that's in order, of course, because independence is within the mind in particular. But the theme is what caught me, and what I raise, if you have just joined us, is that the theme to adapt, diversify, and recreate. Very instructive, as I said earlier, because we have to get adjusted to new conditions. We have to diversify our economy, and as a people to protect ourselves against risk. And to recreate, we have to reorganize, build resilience. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your line. Okay, I seem to have missed that call. Are you there, caller? Yes, caller, you're live.
Yeah, Mr. Liburd, good night. How are you? Happy belated independence.
Same to you, my brother.
Yeah, I want to talk about the cruise ship that brought down there. Package, the cruise ship come, right? And as politics just tell you that we got to live with the COVID. It's true. But I would like to see the tourist department getting the message across to the stakeholders them a little more and being a little forthright with it. For instance, when I went down there in the morning and I see where they have the craft vendors, main stakeholders, such as, I didn't really want to cause an alarm, but I got to do better than that next time. Them stakeholders, them craft vendors is not supposed to be hiding behind the building. Carry them right down in the front. They're supposed to be down in the front, just like in there and they're making money. Put a tent, they had them a tent, put them down there. And try to work with them that they could make money. Put a banner that because the people want craft, they want local craft. Let me do it right, man. Let me do it right. The question are some of these people who go on the internet and get the people come. I personally feel that tourism should have had some hearings to these people. Getting the people them come to the country and they should have get security, work with them and give them the people. You got to work with these people. That's how we build tourism over the years. You can't set nothing. This one thing got to done with. And the calling and the PM, this one tabanko where they got going on in this country is not done with because they have no one break it up. Patches, let me do it right. Everybody suffer for 18 months. And you can't just lay one set smile and the poor people them sour. But no, them things are going to happen. And the calling and these happy people down in the tourism department, let me get it right. Otherwise I don't hear jam down, I know a lot of things and I got more things to talk, but I'll leave it for another time. Patches, enjoy yourself. Low Sinkage is a good country and when I'm back down. You know me, and I know you.
You know me, I know you. Jam down, you won't back down. And pleading to get the message right. And the rationale is very clear, as you said. Everybody suffered for 18 months, then everybody must start benefiting. Now we are alleviating the problems. Caller, you are live. Okay, but here's what. We were talking about the theme. And the theme for independence, in my view, helps us as citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis to focus on national wellness and rejuvenation. It prepares us for further challenging times that we are bound to face, taking into consideration the global environmental crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, and as Jamdong just alluded to the fact that as a local economy, we are heavily dependent upon tourism and other external influences. And he went down to the craft vendors. And that's what we call the grassroots economy. And once the cruise ships are coming, he's suggesting, and rightly so, that the grassroots economy must benefit. And nothing is wrong. Absolutely nothing is wrong with that process. Because when we constructed the new cruise pier, we spent $130 million. The idea was that it would cascade right throughout the economy, right down to the grassroots. The private vendors, the taxi drivers, the restaurants, call them. But let's get back to that as we get back to lines at 9:27. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, Patrick Reagan. This morning, Panjik the program, at the morning show. A young man and a young lady from the tourism department was talking about the situation of the COVID and, Port Tante and how the tourists will distribute going to the destination or what craft vendors are they were going to do. And a question come up which I'm going to talk about with some people, like some people want to bring in their own tourist line and those things, right? And I think the question, the young lady and the young man said that, things were normal like before. And like the tourist department and whatever will control the tour guide and control these things. Like before, we're in a normal time now. What me think the church was trying to say that they cannot allow tourists to go there with a group of people and then maybe they go out towards the life because you want to control them and them things too. You understand? They might go by a bar and drink a beer and some of them might get intoxicated and go do and people might mingle with them and all those things. This is a normal time patches and they just train a test as far as they're concerned. And I believe that we got to work with the tourist department, we got to work with the government, and we got to work with all the taxi men who take the vaccination and everything. Because some of them out there ignorant instead of not take the vaccination. And everybody here with the whole everybody here with the whole water, and all the leaders them in the whole all the leaders them agree with taking the vaccination to put the country back on track. Especially those who really rely on tourists in the tourist industry. I am a great jam down that the ordinary craft vendors them, they shouldn't be put aside. You understand? Them are the one because they're selling our product, they're selling our products. We don't have nothing against them because they come invest. And no country can run without investors, especially look how in this tourist time now. and we agriculture ain't so booming like before back in the 70s. So, man, we got to work and try to phase out and look at the school. School closed, school open, school closed. But particularly I think that should happen, right? When they find like a class, somebody in a class, a student in a class, maybe got COVID or contact with COVID or get contact with somebody, they go and quarantine the class, so close down the whole school. You understand? Don't close the whole school and look at the contact trace them in the school and keep the school open. Because closing the whole school, they're setting back the country, setting back the economy. The children got to learn too. And most of these children now, some of them, you know, they look like because of their own children. And I know that some of them they set back from the learning and so because of this COVID, they can't go to school alone as they like. And some of the parents then they have no interest with them going online or go learn online and them thing there. Some of them got a thing with them after that more the children going online and them thing there too. So that is on and on, you know, we got to walk around this thing until when everything gets normal. But COVID will be there, we got to walk around it. I believe that now COVID is there and we get an arm, everybody got to get an arm to it and we got to work with COVID. COVID will be here for a very long time. Just like any other flow. So Patches, I want to God bless the Federation of Stinky Nevis again. Brother, I want to God bless Mark Brantley, the Prime Minister. They're going to make the presentation, I think, on Saturday to the United Nations. And I hope Mr. Mark Brantley did a wonderful job for us. Everybody know Mark Brantley is a great speaker. And I know that you will Patches, I know you will represent too. So God bless the Federation, all land and beauty of this Federation Stinky Nevis. May God bless you. And Patrick, I sympathy going out to my afternoon morning. She lost her sister-in-law. I want to send condolences out to she and the family. A good friend of mine, long-term friend. And I want to wish her all the best. Patrick, again.
Thank you very much. Again, before I take this caller, just for clarification, the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Sylvester Harris is the one, as head of government, who is expected to address the United Nations General Assembly tomorrow night in his statement as the leader or head of the government. The Honorable Mark Brantley is here in New York, and of course we will be at the General Assembly tomorrow. There are 4 persons allowed to the delegation, and the delegation will be at the Assembly. But in fact, it is the Honorable Prime Minister who will be making that address on behalf of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Yes, you're right. Mark Brantley is an eloquent speaker, but for tomorrow, it's the Prime Minister who is also a most eloquent speaker who will address the Assembly tomorrow. Caller, thank you for holding you alive.
Yeah, Patches. Bumpy again. Patches, the government is doing quite a wonderful job, and I'm very proud of the government. And I'm very proud of the Federation. I say happy independence to the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis. We need a leader like that. And we have to keep our leaders like that. That's a young man, and we do not want no rubbish anymore. We need a man who to take us forward to the brighter future. Because this age is computer age. You must tell these people sometimes. The age now, the young people they know, every child, I hear them talking about the school, but every kid right now have a telephone. And every kid could do computer work on his phone, or he can do it on his iPad. So you can't come and tell me that then go to school, close on your son, and you can't do your homework. All the teachers them have to do is to send it, get the number and send it back online. Because then we know we is computer age at this moment. Watch you. The police, the task force is doing a very good job in the Federation right now. Let me tell you something about we task force. We task force have satellite over us, looking at us when we sleeping and all. You understand? We computerize. And I'm so proud. I never expected this kind of technology of science. But we have new technology now of science. I'm asking the people to go out and take the vaccine because who don't take the vaccine, I sorry for them. You understand? There is some going to have the effects because vaccine ain't for everybody. And things like this here. And rum ain't for everybody. Beer ain't for everybody. Wine ain't for everybody. But then the way of life, when you got to look at life, we need to represent our country and our flag. And I know tomorrow my Prime Minister will deliver. He will deliver, and he's going to deliver so good. Because here in there, wait till you mark with Mark. Mark went first, and then he come behind. Psychology of science, diplomatical philosophy. No, people don't like us. But then we love them, and we got to take care of them, and we build our health system in technology of science. Technology of science is a very, very, very big word, eh? And people want to know where a man like Brother Bumpy get that kind of word there from. But you have to come to Brother Bumpy to find out technology of science. And due to the fact of certain circumstances of principle, I'm asking your patches to do the right thing, take care of my Prime Minister and my Premier and his delegates. That's all I want you to do, patches. And come back home and win your election, please. I love you, brother. May the Lord be with you.
Brother Bumpy.
Have a good night.
Have a good night as well.
I want you to be strong. I want you to be faithful.
We love you as well.
Okay.
It's 23 before 9. If you have just joined me, we've been discussing several things. We've literally had an open line tonight, although I introduced the issues as it relates to COVID, the issues as it relates to the CPL, the tourism, and cruise ships, and of course, as King Rockefeller suggested that I should have added the Wellington Road houses, which I did, my Straight Dog family. The time is 22 before 10. We go straight back to the lines. Call you live.
Yeah, good evening again, Patrick. I agree with Mr. Manners concerning the vendors them down there. Now, they say you got to be fully vaccinated. They had classes for all the vendors, taxi drivers, and everybody. For months upon months, they got this going classes and all kind of thing. I don't see at the Amino Craft Market where the poor people them is. You're going to take them out of there, carry them down in a corner, and put a tent, and put one table. Come and think of who on the table. Nothing to hang the things them what they're selling and so on. I think that was unfair to them. If properly vaccinated and you went to the meeting, what they had, and certify from them, you should be in there. You should be in there. Them is the one who got to get security, police, and everybody in the army and who private security to make sure that everybody is vaccinated who coming into that place, that walk in there. And them is the one who should see that the tourists don't leave the ground. You can't push them aside like that. You got 30 vendors down there in the craft house, and only 3 you take. Eh? Man, them things can't be fair. Then you have the stores and them down there. We're paying a lot of money and doing a lot of business. And some of the workers can't get in, but they ain't on a list. When all of them rent and all kind of thing, man, you got to come better on that. You got to come better on that. people is hurting. But you can't blame. This ain't a political issue, you know. This is just natural common sense. This ain't a political issue. There's nothing political about this. It's just natural common sense. Somebody is not doing the homework. Somebody is not marking the test and them right. So this ain't no politics. You understand me? But everybody have to live who was living there before. You understand me? Give the people them a chance to make a dollar. It's over almost 2 years. Some people in Israel got food to put on the table. Down there. If you're not prepared, don't bother come down there. But while they prepare, allow the people them to come in and sell the crap. But if you ain't prepared, don't come down there. What are you coming down there for? Because tourism send message to everybody. They put it on the ear and sun. And they should equip to go there to enjoy a dollar making. But if you ain't went to what tourism had given out to you, what you going down there to disturb the people for? Well, you're a craft vendor, and you this and you that, and you ain't went to none the kingdom what the people have. You understand me? So the whole trouble about it is not politics. It's just health. Health is the reason why. You can't take up a man who ain't vaccinated and give him a bus, tell him to carry people, and then they catch a germs and all kind of thing. The Prime Minister needs to follow the example of Antigua, Brown, and do the same thing in St. Kitts. Who Rex, who want to Rex, double Rex, triple Rex. But he got to do something. You can't allow a couple of people to hold back this beloved country of ours. You understand me? So he needs to do something to deal with them. You know? All of them don't get vaccinated from since there was a child coming up and the plane. You see people in line in Antigua? They rush him to go take the vaccination. You understand me? The man say he ain't an obligation to nobody, you know. He have an obligation for the vaccination to keep the country healthy. That is the obligation. So who do I want to vote for when the election come round? If they're still around, that's the business. But while you're working in government and he adding the tax and all of them, the red cap, all of them today. So every one of them have to go and get vaccinated. I don't come work. I don't call them about no money. When you come, you got 2 weeks to get your act together. Otherwise than that, you don't have a job. Okay? So good night, Patches. You said here, as Bumpy said, make sure the Prime Minister and Brantley is safe and you safe up there. I know the Prime Minister going to shine on the stage up there. So he's a man with a lot of pride and dignity, so you know what he's doing. He ain't guessing. Okay, good night, Patches again.
Good night, my brother.
And I want to say to those political elements who continue to use subterfuge and to undermine the system, you need to stand down. You need to join in the fight. COVID is the most significant threat facing the Caribbean region at this time. Not climate change, COVID. And I want to issue a clarion call to the Caribbean people. We can do better. We have 99% literacy in the Caribbean region. We're among the most vulnerable people in the world. Part of our vulnerability has to do with our ancestry, what happened to us during colonialism and slavery, that we're given all the bad foods, that Europe left this region underdeveloped, that we have a prevalence of NCDs to include diabetes, obesity. We're more vulnerable than North Americans and Europeans. And we should be rushing for those vaccines even more so than those who live in North America and Europe, because we're more vulnerable.
Yes, we're more vulnerable, and we should be rushing for the vaccines. That's the voice of Prime Minister Gaston Brown of Antigua. He's protecting the country and protecting those who are vaccinated. Caller, you're live. I want to thank you for holding. It's 15 before 10.
King Rockefeller could not say it any better. He has said it the way it's supposed to be said. Well, perfect. You cannot leave the small man, because look at it. Those who are up front and giving orders, they are sure of the check every month. Work on or work, they getting paid. The small man now, he has to go there and use his fingers and his skill to make sure he create a paycheck for him. So how you gonna shove them up, jam them up in a corner, as rocked up with 3 people? If you went to the what you call it, the information instructions, that means you comply with the request and you are qualified because you are fully vaccinated and health is the thing. But why leave out them? And you're out there making you big money. And not only making you big money, moving small people who've been walking around the port for years and shove them down because you want to bring in who you want to bring in to put up there, who don't deserve to be there working. You can't put wherever you people them. You people them in your foot like you're not going to your house. And if you're going to take out the dam and you knock because you got concrete block, are you making a big mistake? Because earthquake don't crack wood. It broke up blocks and the house tumble down. So leave the knock them over and keeping up your house before you get blocks. Patriotic. The government could not put a better person right in the position where you are. You know why? You're more than qualified academically. And you use your common sense along with your academics. And you're smart. You're very, very smart. You don't think way in advance of others. No wonder some of them couldn't stay up there. They had to run down here every minute because they couldn't represent the position that they get. And the kudos to Newton. Newton has produced the most educated young men in grammar school. That Newton up there. A lot of men of Newton went to grammar school, and kudos to Newton, and you are one of them. So you all could fit in any work, any place, anywhere. Nobody could criticize you. They criticize you because they're grudge and jealous. And you did not have to go home to ask anybody what you must do tomorrow when you go represent the nation in United Nations. Good night.
Good night, my brother. I'm humbled by your commendation. But I like King Rockefeller. He said, it's not a political issue. It is natural common sense. It is natural common sense that the closure of the tourism industry has had a cascading effect on the livelihood of people dependent upon tourism, especially the smaller people. And the situation is evolving though, and the final impact can only be certain in time to come, in due course. But I trust that those in authority are listening to the voices of many. And some of you are getting in several times, and some can't get in. But for those who are getting in so easily, let's give an opportunity for those who just can't get in. But the King Rockefeller has summed it up well. It is not a political issue. It is natural common sense. So too, they jam down. It's 12 before the 10 o'clock hour. We go back to the lines. Let's see. Let's take this call. Caller. Okay. I thought I had the call. We probably missed that one. But getting back as we wind down tonight's programming, as we strive for the achievement, as we try to save lives and livelihoods. That's what the discussion coming from the jam downs and the rocks and the cultures and the politics and Brother Bumpy. I sometimes can't follow his psychology of the science and so on, right? And my dear good friend from down west, Casilda, can I call her name? You know, but as we look at what's happening, right, and try to save lives and livelihoods, requires urgent action. Urgent action if we are going to address both the the pandemic, also issues like climate change. We need to put vaccinations at the top of our list. I know some people have come with their own theories. Someone suggested, why close the whole school down if one or two are found to be infected? But yes, we have to take precautions lest we overrun our hospitals, our main hospital. We can't afford to expose the health system like that. So yes, we have to put all precautions in place. 9 before 9, I'll take a few more calls. I go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Good night, good night. This is Dumpling. I never will call in. But culture...
Turn the radio off.
Culture, people from that night, intelligent, and they go grammar school too. Not Newton alone. You don't say them things. Because intelligent people went grammar school. From that night, feel.
Okay, Dumpling, short and sweet. As a matter of fact, I will add, people from all over the country are intelligent and went to grammar school. You're right, not just Newtown, but a lot of people from Newtown. I have to be frank, right? Came out in flying colors. But that's not the issue, because we're not going to compare ourselves. Never compare ourselves. We will become vain and or bitter. They always will be greater and or lesser. So let's not go down that road. In St. Kitts and Nevis, we have a 98 or 99% literacy rate, which means all around the country. In St. Kitts and Nevis, there are brilliant people. So, but going back to the schools, there are different views. Once a person came with a very queer suggestion, and we entertain all suggestions. I listened to this, and this one really caught me by surprise. This one took the cake.
There is an easier way out to the children who are going to school who are not vaccinated and those who are vaccinated. And for the teachers who are vaccinated and for the teachers that are not vaccinated. Government has to look after everybody, unvaccinated and vaccinated. So what my suggestion is, let all the children who are not vaccinated and who are not going to take the vaccine, let them be in school and let the teachers who are not vaccinated to teach those children who are unvaccinated, right? So they could prepare the schools. Let us have one school for the vaccinated and one school for the unvaccinated. Do likewise with the teacher.
Well, having an unvaccinated bubble, that's very interesting. But the fact is, vaccines work. Vaccines work, and the science has been proven. No need to debate it.
I don't know the sources of the information that is triggering this level of vaccine hesitancy. I can tell you that they are not scientifically proven. And I want to appeal to you to listen to the sources where you have truthful, scientifically based information and evidence. The vaccines work, and the proof that vaccines work is because in the cases that are now hospitalized, that's in severe illness and deaths, more than 95% of those have not been vaccinated. To be protected, you need to receive the full regimen. If it's 2 doses, you need to receive the full doses. 1 dose does not protect you. And please, The best vaccine for anyone is the one available to you. So please make use of vaccines that are available.
Please, that's a plea I wish to echo. That plea came from the Director General, I think, is the title, Dr. Etienne of PAHO, the Pan American Health Organization. And in St. Kitts and Nevis, our own Prime Minister made his own plea and has been steadfast in his approach in the strategy of the Team Unity Cabinet as it relates to fighting the COVID war.
We have also ramped up our vaccination efforts and sourced additional vaccines to ensure that our people continue to have access to this life-saving measure.
Vaccines have been made available. Those are the tools that are required to fight this battle against COVID. Never mind those who shout loud and say nothing, like this one.
And they came up with the vaccine. And I asked questions, constantly asking questions about the vaccine. And then we keep going on and on and on. We end up at a meeting with all the unvaxxed. And I could recall a lady got up in the meeting to ask about the vaccine. And the former chairman, Michael Morton, tell her to hush up, sit down. Don't ask no question. That Ike kind of give me a little bit of, like, wow. And Ike, you can recall that I call you, Ike, and ask you for the same Sebastian guy number. Because remember I said to you, but Ike, he convinced me I'm going to take the vaccine. But after I see the behavior of these people.
That he had me too.
Yeah. But after I see the behavior of these people, I said, well, no, these people are very disrespectful to us.
Imagine that. I was going to take the vaccine, but after I heard one of his former bosses, the way he spoke to someone, he changed his mind and exposed himself and exposing people to this dreaded disease. But as we wind down, I must remind you, as I said from the beginning, that High Level Week continues at the United Nations. And tomorrow, as we continue working through this world pandemic, it's not easy. Our sustainable development goals are under threat. We have less than 10 years to implement SDG 2030. Ambitious goals they are to end poverty in all forms everywhere, end hunger, achieve food security, and of course take action to address climate variability. Climate change is affecting every country on every continent and every part of the world, including the Caribbean in particular and in St. Kitts and Nevis, of course. It is disrupting our national economy and affecting lives. Weather patterns are changing, sea levels are rising, and weather events are becoming more extreme. Saving lives and livelihoods require urgent action if we are going to address both the pandemic and the climate emergency, as we strive for achievement of a durable peace. Changes are required if we are going to make progress in a practical way. But we have to be realistic. It's going to be slow. it's going to be painful because as a small island development state, we have limited resources and we receive limited support. Remember, process is substance. The end is irrelevant. Leaders are encouraged to focus on the theme, building resilience through hope, to recover from COVID-19, rebuild sustainability, respond to the needs of the planet, respect the rights of people, and revitalize the United Nations. Our Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris, takes center stage tomorrow between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. Listen to Radio ZIZ. Listen to the SKNIS and the OPM, whichever the sources are going to be used, to get the right time for our leaders' statement tomorrow, God's spear. Provocative and surprising statements have already been made at the United Nations General Assembly. Speakers will simultaneously address their domestic and international audiences. So too, as I said, Prime Minister Harris will do tomorrow night between 7 and 8 p.m. Keep abreast to the announcements. The vaccinations has so far been to the top of the list of topics that heads of state or government have already made from the podium at the United Nations. But, my family, the truth is, the course of adapting, diversifying, and recreating, we need action from the process to deal with the crisis of today and the challenges of tomorrow. Most important, though, I believe that we can only achieve peace, security, and prosperity for our country if we embrace diversity, respect each other, and put our faith in God. We have learned how to cope with difficulties and to find ways to be resilient and rise above all these things. We have learned how to cope and help those who have suffered and to comfort those who have lost loved ones. It is left for us, therefore, to embrace and continually apply those lessons of compassion and love for our fellow men. We must continue to embrace and to apply those lessons in the future and to teach our children the new realities of adapting and living through this pandemic in the period of our existence. For those reasons, let us thank God for preserving us and protecting our country even in the face of the pandemic and the challenges it has brought. Nevertheless, we can still give God thanks for life and hope for tomorrow. And let's fear not tomorrow, because we have lived yesterday, so let us love today. We can look at another pilgrim song of David found in Psalm 124. Then ask ourselves, what if the Lord had not been on our side? Let me hear you say, what if the Lord had not been on our side when the coronavirus attacked us? The simple answer is, God has blessed us with the talents to ride out this storm. To my fellow Kittians and Nevisians, wherever you may be, again, belated happy independence, and may God continue to bless our nation, bless our leaders, protect and prosper us as a people in unity. That's my story for the night, and you better believe it, because my time is done and I've got to run. I want to thank all those who called. There are many, again, Because I missed you for 2 shows over the last 2 weeks. I was very lenient tonight, and some people got in 3 and 4 times. But normally, the limit is 2. So next time around, God's willing, let's get back to the time and the 2. Thank those who follow the program on social media. Thank God who listen to the Big Bad Radio, ZIZ. Those on Facebook, those on YouTube, and any other social media. Remember, without you, there's no Straight Talk. But first of all, I should have thanked Almighty God. Regarding our conversation tonight, and as always, I thank the man on the console, the mayor from St. Paul's, Theo Theophilus Clark. Don't you move your dials, he comes right up after Straight Talk. So until we connect for another edition of Straight Talk on Monday, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Be good to all whom you meet, and be good to yourselves. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you just got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. How could I forget? In the back room, Beverly Wilkins and John James. They too have made this program possible. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday, have yourselves a wonderful weekend.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night. For the rest of food